Today we're making polenta with short ribs. But not just any short ribs, pomegranate short ribs. To make our polenta, we have our vegetable broth, we have our polenta, we have some coconut milk, some heavy cream, some grilled cheese, some pepper jack cheese, and even a little Parmigiano Reggiano, some Himalayan salt and some black pepper. And what other goodness we have here? And then to make our wonderful short ribs, we have a little bit of flour so we can create a roux so we can get it to be a little thick, our sauce. We have some butter for that. And we have a little bit of brown sugar, some soy sauce, some Marsala wine. We have some pomegranate juice, and we have some beef broth as well to go with that. We have our onions and our garlic that's gonna go there. And we're gonna start to flavor it up so we can get the fond from the bottom of the pan from our turkey bacon. So we're gonna fry up our turkey bacon, take the little bit of grease that's from that to start making and searing our short ribs. That's what we'll do. But before we obviously sear our short ribs, we wanna put a little bit of some Slap Your Mama seasoning. It's my new favorite seasoning. A little bit of Himalayan salt and black pepper. And I can't see everything here. So we want to season it with that. And we want to saute our red bell peppers with some olive oil and some spinach, because we're gonna put that as a bed for our short ribs. So we're gonna do our polenta and make the bed on top of the polenta with our red bell peppers and our spinach. And then we're gonna put our short ribs, once it's done, on top of it. And we're gonna garnish it with some pomegranate areoles. And there you have it for our, what we're gonna use to make our wonderful decadent short ribs and polenta. So I'm taking my short ribs and I am putting them in a bowl. I have vacuum sealed it. Look at this nice, thick, nice lot of meat, great marbling. That's what you want to look for when you go to the store. You want to make sure that it's not all bone, that you do have a good chunk of meat and it has great marbling, because in this case, fat is your friend, because that's what all the flavor is. So look at that nice, thick pieces of meat, and that's what you want. So I'm putting it in the bowl, and I am going to, if you've watched my show, then you know that I like to clean my meat with some form of acid. In this case, I'm going to use some lemon juice. If you've never watched my show, now you know that I like to clean my meat with acid, and it's just kind of to get rid of the bacteria from the packing plants and people touching it prior to me having it. So I just like to clean all my meats and poultry and seafood. All right, so what I'm gonna do is take some acid and just pour it in for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'll rinse it off, and then we're gonna season it. And I am just gonna, so when this lemon juice is on it, I just kind of like rub it on it, just to kind of make sure it's like all on. And then I just, like I said, I just like leave it for about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. And then I just gently rinse it off, pat it dry, and then we'll begin to season our meat. So I took a little olive oil, I've rinsed it off with the lemon juice, the acid I had on it. And I just put a little olive oil and I'm rubbing it on it, just so our seasoning that I'm gonna put can adhere. Because sometimes when you put the seasoning, it doesn't stay on. So I like to just rub a little bit of oil on it. so it stays on. And then I have a little bit of Montreal seasoning that I'm gonna put on it, and a little bit of Cajun seasoning. And then I had cooked some bacon earlier, some turkey bacon, and we're gonna use the grease from that to sear it. I'll show you that in a second. So just to turn over all the sides, just a little seasoning. Just continue with this process. Put that there. I will do a little bit of the Cajun seasoning, same thing, just turning on each side of it to add a little bit of that Cajun flavor. So I want to sear off my meat, and so this is some of my turkey bacon grease, and this is my turkey bacon pieces that I cooked earlier. All right, so I'm going to save that for later in our next process later on with the meal. So I'm waiting for this to get hot, and it really is. And I did add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil along with that turkey grease, because that's going to give us the flavor of the turkey bacon grease. It would have been so much better if I could have had the regular bacon, but I do have some people that are not pork eaters, and to just kind of respect that, I went with the turkey bacon, because the other grease renders a lot more fat, and it's just it's more flavorful, I feel. But whatever fat I could get from this turkey bacon grease, I kept it, and I had to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to that. So now we're gonna put in a short ribs. That's what you want to hear, that sear. And I'm just gonna end up moving the oil in our pan. I wanna make sure this has enough room for me to sear all ends of it. So I'm only gonna put 4 pieces right now. I have 2 more pieces I would have liked to put, but I'm gonna get some olive oil in the center. If I can get some olive oil in the center. Put that there. There we go. And I'm just going to turn the top to get a little color on each side. Get a little more color on here. I still have room to put the last piece here. Yeah. So I've only turned one side, because the rest of the sides need to get some color. So look at this wonderful sear, wonderful crispiness here, the nice color that's on it. So then we're gonna take this out, and we're actually, because who has time to wait all day to eat and to cook? Normally people will do this in the oven for like 3.5 hours. But we're gonna do it the quickest way possible to still give us that richness and flavor in our Instapot. So we have our beef broth that we're gonna use, our pomegranate juice. So we're gonna add our liquids to our Instapot, such as our wine. I like Marsala. You can use red wine. That's fine. Our beef broth. And since this is a pomegranate short rib, gotta have our pomegranate juice. And also some low sodium soy sauce in here. So I'm putting my short ribs in the Instapot. So I have 4 garlic cloves in my hand, and the garlic cloves are not fully peeled. Very important information to know when you're using a pressure cooker Instant Pot, if you're not aware already. And I also have 1 whole onion. Now, with the onion, I just took off the brown outer skin, but I left the top stem. I left the bottom stem. I took off the top stem, and I left the outer part of the onion, not the very brownish part that I removed, but every other piece of the onion I left. Reason being is because of the high pressure from the Instapot or a regular pressure cooker, it will disintegrate if you take off everything. So this will, at least as it starts to disintegrate, you'll still see some pieces left of the garlic and the onion, and the flavors will all come out and be there. Won't be much, but it'll still be some because you left the stems and you left the outer wrapper of these 4 cloves. So I just take off that first film, but I leave the rest on. I don't peel it fully because if not, it'll just be gone before it's done. So very important to know. Just take off that brownish wrapper and leave the rest of the outer skin. Really important. Yeah, so placing the onion here, putting my garlic cloves around here. See, again, leave that outer stem there. And then we're gonna pour our liquids. And what we have for our liquids here is supposed to be 1.5 cups. I have to put another 1/2 cup here of the beef broth. Okay. And then I have 1/2 cup of my wine. Okay. And then I have my brown sugar in here because of all the acid from the wine, even from the pomegranate juice we're gonna put, and some of that soy sauce. We have some of my soy sauce, and I have 1/3 cup of the soy sauce here. Okay. And then for my pomegranate juice, I have, this is 2 cups. And 1/2. Okay, that's 2 cups and 1/2 of the pomegranate juice. And take a look at it. Okay, make sure everything's all there. All right. And we kind of want to make sure that all of our things are fully covered. Then I'll come back and make a roux with some of that grease that I had, the turkey bacon grease. And so we can kind of make a little thick gravy that we can kind of add at the end. Okay, so here we go. And we're gonna put this in our pressure cooker for 35 minutes on high. Now our short ribs are all done. Now that's the thing though, there is a lot of fat, which we will take care of and remove. I have a special equipment for that. And I just want you to see how tender these short ribs are. I don't want to hold it too high because it's like falling off the fork bone. And so I want you to see, I'm going to put it on my plate for you to see how tender it is. Look how tender this is. You shredding it. You can make yourself some sliders with the short ribs, the way they're just shredding right off. Or you could just put it shredded like that on your meal. But it is, mine have fallen off the bone. So it's gonna look a little different on my polenta because I'm not gonna really have a bone sticking out because it fell right off. Look at this, I just want you to see how easy and how tender this was. This is our garlic. Remember I told you about, see how it started to disintegrate? This is why I did not take the skin off. Because had I taken the skin, it would be no garlic there now. Even though with the skin here, the garlic flavor still permeated and the onion still permeated through this. Let me see if I can find the onion since I did leave. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what the onion looks like. Huh. This is what the onion looks like. Again, if I didn't leave that stem, there'd be no onion whatsoever. The pressure just completely tenderizes this and it starts to just disappear. It disintegrates. So this is why it's important to leave that bottom stem to keep the onions together. And the same thing with that outer skin on the garlic. Just so you see. This is what it turns out to be. So now we're making one of the stars of this main event attraction, the polenta. So I have some vegetable boiling here. I have 6 cups of vegetable broth because it requires 3 cups of liquid to 1 cup of polenta. I am using this polenta as I showed you earlier. Now, if you're not familiar with polenta, polenta is basically cornmeal. Polenta is what the Italians call it, and the Americans call it cornmeal. It is very similar to grits. It just takes a little bit more time to cook than grits does. This is about 30 minutes to cook. So you do have to kind of babysit it, could get hard so we're starting off with a whisk in it. And then as it starts to get, we add our liquids. In this case, I'm using coconut milk and a little heavy cream. And I'm gonna add some pepper jack cheese to it because I want it to be creamy. That's when we'll switch over to our spoon. And just keep mixing it. Then watching it about every 7 to 10 minutes, just turning. All right, so first we're gonna put our black pepper in here. Okay, and a little bit of our Himalayan salt. And we're now gonna put our 2 cups of polenta in here. Okay, so 2 cups, 1 cup. A little bit more. Okay, finish up with 1 cup. Here's my 2nd cup of polenta. some little bit left in my cup here. There we go. And so let's go in here, and I'm gonna lower my heat a little bit. And I'm gonna start stirring this. See that it's bubbling and it's forming. So that's why I wanna bring down my heat. Ooh. Keep kind of stirring it here. I'm gonna add some butter as well to it. So we put our butter in our polenta. Now I'm gonna add our coconut milk. Give it that nice decadent taste. You gotta keep stirring it. It does bubble and pop a little bit, so you gotta stay on top of that. Make sure you don't get hurt. And add a little bit of cream, just a tad bit. Just a tad bit, like I said. And I'm gonna add my pepper jack cheese. Keep stirring, stirring my polenta. You know I have it on low heat. It just loves to pop. Same thing if you ever cook grits. You know, it's just the same thing. Pop, 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 pop motion. And I'm going to switch out now to my spoon. I'm going to stir it. This is just some pepper jack cheese that I had finely shredded myself. And I put it in my vacuum seal packaging. So just a little bit of pepper jack cheese in here. Keep that creaminess kind of going on. There we go. Now you can let this settle where it will get firmer, and then you can, if you're doing it more the Italian way, you know, and let it get firmer, and then you can cut it and grill it or fry it and bake it. But I prefer it more liquefied, like grits, for me. So you want it creamy like this. Okay. Our vitamin content for our polenta and our scrumptious short ribs is vegetable broth, A in iron, polenta, small amounts of A, B, calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and zinc, butter, A, B12, D, E, and K2, Himalayan salt, calcium, iron, magnesium, potassium, black pepper, A, B1, B2, B5, B6, C, E, and K, pepper jack cheese, A, B12, calcium, phosphorus, selenium, and zinc, grilled cheese, B6, B12, calcium, magnesium, pantothenic acid, phosphorus, riboflavin, thiamine, and zinc, Parmesan Reggiano cheese, A, B6, B12, coconut milk, C, folate, iron, magnesium, potassium, heavy cream, A, D, and calcium, olive oil, E, and K, onions, B6, C, folate, magnesium, potassium, red bell peppers, A, B2, B6, C, folate, niacin, potassium, slap your mama seasoning, A, C, calcium and iron, short ribs, B6, B12, zinc and selenium, turkey bacon, B6, B12, iron, niacin and zinc, flour, folic acid, iron, niacin, riboflavin, thiamine, B broth, B6, copper, niacin, phosphorus, potassium, riboflavin, and thiamine, brown sugar, calcium, copper, iron, potassium, pomegranate juice, B, C, E, and K, and potassium, Marcella wine, A, C, D, calcium, iron, potassium, soy sauce, B6, K, copper, magnesium, riboflavin, and pomegranate areoles, B, C, E, K, and potassium. Real facts. People who live in rural areas face a greater risk of food insecurity. This is due to many of the rural areas being food desert. You can learn more by visiting us at jdhcdc.org. Well, guys, look at our pomegranate short ribs with our creamy polenta and our spinach and red bell peppers that we made. Isn't this like, it's so beautiful. Straight looking from a magazine. Don't even want to dig into it, but I gotta let you know the deal on how it really tastes. So let's dig into it. So let's try our polenta. My veggies here. Oh my gosh. It really is nice and creamy. So good. Now the star. Look at that, cutting straight off. Look. Guys, take a look at this, how this is just so soft. It's just coming right off. Look how that's just coming right off. Oh my gosh, the Instapot. I'm telling you guys, if you don't have one, definitely get one. If you have it, make use of it with your short ribs. Look how easy and tender that is. Oh gosh. Heavenly. Heavenly. Oh my gosh. Look at how tender the short ribs is. Oh my gosh. Try to get some in with my polenta. A little bit of the pomegranate. Honestly, you will not regret doing your short ribs in the Instapot. This is so good. Wow. Look at how beautiful this is. How that meat is so fine. So, here's our call to action. Don't forget to click the like button by giving us a virtual hug. When you do that, that lets myself and my team know that you enjoy the content we're putting out for you. It allows us to go back to the thinking lab and see what can we create or what can we recreate. I thank you for hanging out with me again today, where you got to eat virtually and I ate physically, but you too can eat virtually the next time. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. We welcome you here with open arms and great big hugs. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. You won't regret it. And share this channel with your family and friends. They'll be happy you did. And I want to let you know you can always hit the bell notification so you can know every time we put out a new video. So thank you for hanging out and eating with me today. I look forward to you hanging out with me again and eating. And we do answer our comments, so comment below if you decide to make this or if you add something different to it. Because I always talk about cooking, it's about passion. And it's about recreating the wheel, right? So this is my wheel. Maybe you want to add a twist to it. Maybe you want to do it just how it is, or maybe you want to take out some stuff. That's fine as well. So just let me know what you did so we can converse in the comments. Thank you again for hanging out with me. I love you guys. Bye.